Okay. Um, so, it's funny when I listen to these people try to come up with these fantasies of where they're like, oh, we're investigating, we're solving. The reality is this: they do this nasty manipulation, and as you can see around me, there's a few things I like to bring up. There's a little the recording of a testimony of this woman in South Florida, or somewhere in Florida, and she specifically talks about, and mind you, that's those testimonies, like, they also like 2007, and things are so similar, right? And she says that, you know um, things have been happening to her where they've been manipulating her to get different stimulations, and they have these things where they have teenagers participating in her tormenting, and at night they try to, like, condition her and program her to have sexual thoughts of children and teenagers specifically in this case. And you know and they have been aiming this program of perversion toward children, right? Young people, children, and even homosexual. But I don't think that is like something to break people down, right? But what you see down, I made a video a while ago, and you see the squirrel. This is to make me think of, when I look at this video, is about this kid. They made me look at. They didn't even make me look at. They made me perceive this kid in this way. She was like a tiny little Hispanic girl. It might be like around 15, 14, like early teenager. Tiny, nothing would do nothing to me. But she was wearing like shorts, and she put lotion, and so you can see her skin is kind of like, you see the lotion skin, and so they try to make me think of her. Well, they didn't try. They make me look at this kid and then try to find something they can create in a sexual way. And so they make me think of like a woman when they put lotion, like baby like oil or something like that, and try to create to make me look at this kid that look like a squirrel. But because they try, okay, what can we create that's gonna be driving some kind of, they can drive something sexual and create a thought that you would have towards a woman. Oh, look at her. Okay, see how the skin is like lotion, and I was like, oh, they tried to make me think of a woman with nice skin. And I'm like, oh, this little nothing. And I'm sure in their head, they're just like, it's like, what can we create in this man's head to create a perception that's sexual? They have this ability to manipulate your thought. Doesn't take much to try to force you to think in a way that's perverse toward kids. You're gonna hear this testimony. They have the ability to manipulate perceptions, thoughts in different perverted ways. And it's not just women, adult, and like that's easy. No, toward children. And this kid just look like a squirrel also, and it's like, oh, thank you. Oh, we solved it. Oh, trash. Let me take a picture of this. That's why I take picture of these people, these kids. Look at reality. In my head, it's something else. In real world, if you see this little thing, this nasty, no, I'm sorry. I get emotional because I hate the fact that they want me to accept this as if this is natural. This kid, if you saw this little kid, this early teen kid, okay, yeah, you can put baby oil, it will do nothing to me. But now in my head, oh my gosh, creating a perception that the way you look at a woman who has baby oil on, or like, delusional. They just can create these kind of perceptions. It's easy for them to create thoughts that is perverse and try to find ways to make you think in a perverse way by using perception that you have toward women and then apply that toward children. Is just nasty. And I always I looked at it as like this is like a little like mushed, pushed to like squeezed person that they try to make. I was like, I hate the fact that these people, I don't know, I want to insult these kids. They're kids, but these people really try to like live their fantasies. Like, oh yeah, it's like, look at me. You would be delusional. Come near. They will run away from me. They will run away. I would. Whew, they would be terrified to be like, get your butt out. Go. They know better. Get out. Don't even come near me. Look. nasty. They have no shame. But my perceptions, oh, it's for them. They try to be like, yeah, okay. You think that's how it works? You think technology has to go in your brain, rewire your brain, and force you to have different perceptions? And they always solve that. Listen to the testimony. Obviously, they manipulate perception, thoughts in these perverse ways. And they like to aim it toward children. It's the nasty things they do. And they're like, oh, we're going to watch you be tortured. It's like, yes, because you work for these entities that torture women and children. Listen to this woman. She was tortured. She was raped using this technology. Her kids were tortured. This is what the nasty things you guys do. You guys work for these entities that do these things, that experiment on human beings. And they use lowlifes like you to do these things. So all my target individuals, stay strong. These lowlifes are just the bottom feeders. Whatever imperfection you have, know your imperfection. These trash are going to try to make you accept something that's falsified. And understand that you're dignified. They tell me about my eye. My eyes, I do feel like something's happening to my skull. I understand that. That means there's going to be a lot of pain. This pain, as horrible as I don't want it to leave it, I could not imagine myself living a normal life, fully able to do whatever I want in my life, and living this disgusting low lifeness of theirs, where they have to dumb themselves down and try to claim that, like, try to come up with like a fantasy where there's some femme fatale, some like super like ancient, and this is their world. It's like, no, you're just a bottom feeders that experiment on human beings using technology from DARPA. Trash. This low-lifeness, dedicating so much, like, please continue to live this nasty life. And watch how it comes back to you. Whatever torture I'm going to experience, it's not going to make it easier for you. To all my target individuals, stay strong and know that justice will be done for the nastiness they do to people.
Actually catch what is saying, ITS not my voice, a different voice, and I realized that they are trying to program for me to take it in a started during the nights to run some kind of beam where suddenly I've been wakened up at 3 o'clock in the mornings and some kind of voice comes and say phrases, sound incomprehensible, and some other times can actually catch what is saying, ITS not my voice, a different voice, and I realized that they are trying to program for me to take it in a way that I won't notice a possible change in my behavior. Of course this is not new, because one main thing this program is out there, is called behavior modification for the undesirable, and that's one of the excuses this groups give for the neighbor TO join, deception. I learned to talk back, in my mind, during the process when I was awakened, and I would say demeaning things, that I cannot repeat it in this blog, you know what I mean. Since they had violated me for so long, I decided to aggravate them with words, in my mind, I can hear my own voice. I told them I'm going to make you pay for all of the years of torture that I've taken, and all you are going to hear is aggravation. For every single second of my privacy that you have taken away. From me and my family. Bin said the slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continue. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ass. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me all of the slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags, etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravate the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion program, and so you
Um, Anyways, it's been 5 years for me. They've sort of calmed down a bit now. The V2K is not as loud as it used to be before, it's more stealthy. Like they turn it down a notch. They turn it down a lot to um, make it appear as though the thoughts in my head are actually mine, which I know they aren't most of the time. Because yeah, these people are very perverse, and they have hatred towards
voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent.
I just can't take this whole thing into account so much. I make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. Like, this disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I
sound like an angry ass old person. Then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Don't get shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voice of Skull, it's a bunch of females. And I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female?